Welcome back to our channel. It's great to have you here for another journey into the stories you might have missed. And today we're delving into the ghostly folklore of Japan to talk about the Yūrei, a topic that promises to be as fascinating as it is chilling. So let's not waste any more time and dive right into the heart of this spectral tradition. In Japanese folklore, Yūrei are the disquieted spirits of the dead who cannot pass on to a peaceful afterlife. Because according to deeply rooted traditional belief, every human possesses a soul called the reikon. And when a person dies, this soul is meant to transition into a temporary state, awaiting the proper funeral and memorial rites that will allow it to join its ancestors in tranquility. However, when death is not peaceful, when it arrives suddenly through violence, suicide, or profound injustice, or when it is steeped in powerful, unresolved emotions such as jealousy, hatred, desperate love, or overwhelming sorrow, the reikon becomes disturbed and corrupted, unable to complete its journey, and so it returns to the mortal world as a Yūrei, a faint shadow or ghost. The reasons for a Yūrei's return are not always born from malice or a desire for harm, but rather from a powerful anchor that ties the spirit to the world of the living as an unfinished task, a broken ritual, or an unresolved feeling binds the reikon to its former existence, causing it to wander aimlessly, haunt a specific place, or repeat the final actions of its life in an endless, sorrowful loop. This belief explains why Japanese stories describe so many different forms of Yūrei, each defined by the circumstances of its death and its lingering purpose. Among them are the fearsome Onryō, vengeful spirits, born from betrayal and searing resentment, who seek retribution against those who wronged them in life, and the sorrowful ubume, the ghosts of mothers who perished in childbirth and whose maternal love is so strong that they return to care for their abandoned children. There are also the funayūrei, the collective spirits of those lost at sea, who seek to drag others down to a watery grave, the often playful zashikiwarashi child spirits who are tied to specific homes and can bring fortune or misfortune, and the jibakurei, earthbound spirits who are trapped in a single location where they died, such as a dark forest, a lonely house, or a deep cold well. Expanding on these beliefs, Japanese Buddhism also speaks of its own tormented ghosts, such as the gachi, or hungry ghosts, who are cursed by their past greed and are doomed to suffer from an unquenchable hunger and thirst, and the jikaninki, human-eating ghosts, who were once selfish individuals and are now forced to consume human corpses as a form of karmic punishment. In a uniquely Japanese twist on spiritual phenomena, belief even allows for the living to project their spirit as a living ghost that can leave the body, often unconsciously, when an individual is consumed by an overwhelming emotion like rage or obsessive love, allowing their spirit to haunt or torment others even while they are still alive. Over centuries, these complex beliefs have shaped the iconic and haunting image of the Yūrei that is recognized worldwide, a pale, ethereal figure traditionally dressed in a white burial kimono called the kotabira. Its long, unkempt black hair falling loosely over its face as a symbol of its disheveled and unrestful state. Its arms hang limply with lifeless hands dangling forward, and most unnervingly, it has no visible feet, a characteristic signifying its separation from the physical earth as it floats silently and unnaturally above the ground, often accompanied by eerie, floating flames known as hitodama, which are said to be detached fragments of the soul glowing in spectral shades of blue or green. The haunting behavior of Yūrei is often governed by strict, unspoken rules, with most tales suggesting they are most active during the Yoshinokoku, the hour of the ox, which falls between 2 o'clock and 2:30 a.m., a time when the veil between the world of the living and the world of the dead is thought to be at its thinnest. Unlike the shape-shifting monsters known as ikiryō, are typically bound to a specific place or a singular driving purpose. And if their earthly ties remain unresolved, they are condemned to repeat the same actions endlessly, their existence a tragic echo of their final agonizing moments. The path to releasing these tormented spirits from their earthly prison lies in resolving the issue that binds them, which can be accomplished through the performance of proper funeral rites that were previously neglected, the completion of their unfinished business, or the resolution of the powerful emotional attachments that anchor them to the living. Prayers offered by family members, complex Buddhist rituals performed by monks, or acts of exorcism are all believed to be capable of pacifying a restless spirit and allowing its reikon to finally find peace. Japanese folklore is filled with stories of famous Yūrei, but none are more celebrated than the Nihon Sandai Yūrei, or the three great Yūrei of Japan. This trio includes Okiku, the tormented ghost of a servant girl executed for breaking a precious porcelain plate who is now forever bound to a well from which her mournful voice emerges. Each night to count the plates one by one, only to shriek in despair when she reaches 9 and realizes the 10th is still missing. Alongside her is Oiwa, perhaps the most powerful and terrifying Onryō in all of Japanese folklore, a woman who was disfigured and murdered by her treacherous husband and whose unyielding rage transcends death, allowing her to inflict a horrifying and inescapable curse upon his entire family line. The final member of this ghostly trinity is Otsuyu, the tragic protagonist from the tale The Peony Lantern. A ghost driven not by rage, but by an undying, passionate love for a man she met in life, returning each night, with her skeletal attendant to visit him, her presence slowly draining his life force until he joins her in death. Ultimately, the cultural significance of the Yūrei goes far beyond simple ghost stories, as these figures serve as a profound reflection of the Japanese belief that powerful human emotions like love, sorrow, and rage can survive death itself, possessing a force strong enough to defy the natural order. They function as powerful moral lessons, serving as cautionary tales about the dire consequences of injustice, neglect, betrayal, and unresolved human suffering, reminding society that such actions can create wounds that fester long after life has ended. In the rich tapestry of Japanese culture, death is not always a final, absolute end. And the presence of the Yūrei is a haunting testament to the idea that unresolved feelings have the power to shape the afterlife, creating an eternity of sorrow for those who cannot let go. And so, our story for today has reached its conclusion. I sincerely hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of Japanese ghosts. Thank you for watching all the way to the end and for continuing to follow our journey into the forgotten corners of history and folklore. Make sure you do you and miss anything else from our channel as we continue to explore these fascinating subjects. And we will see you in the next one.